Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you. This is a video that I put on my schedule to make sure that I knocked out this week. I'm going to be doing this one today. It's a few days early. The WWE Network debuted last year, February 24th. That was back in 2014. Here we are in 2015, a year later. Just wanted to, sort of talk about the network and what it's done for wrestling fans. I know that it's been taking a beating over the last month. There's a lot of wrestling fans who don't really like what's going on with Monday Night Raw and the current product, which is the past few pay-per-views that leading up into WrestleMania 31. People thinking that their $10 is not being lived up to. Honestly, in my mind, I think the WWE Network is one of the very coolest things that the WWE Network or the WWE has given us, and all the time of me being a wrestling fan. If you can think of, sort of things dying out around wrestling, I believe last year we saw the last edition of the WWE magazine printed. That was something that, a few wrestling fans bought. It was kind of weird. I went having that magazine delivered to my house for years. When it would get dropped off, I'd pick it up out of the mail that day and I'd flip through it, maybe read an article or two here along the way, mostly just look at all the pictures and just sort of sit it down to the point of when the renewal came up, I said, this isn't for me anymore. And then after not getting it for a few months, or maybe a cool cover comes out, all of a sudden then the WWE magazine has to be like the hottest thing in the world, and I want it again. And then I go into the same sort of deal. So I thought maybe the WWE Network might live up to be something like that, something that I wasn't using on a daily basis. But when it comes down to it, a year later, I watch the WWE Network maybe 3 times a week, I would like to say. I was really into it. I was watching it more than that because when it first came out, they were debuting shows left and right because they had shot so many things with the sort of 2-year waiting period, waiting to debut this. Of course, when it came out, we had Legends House, the Monday Night War, WrestleMania Recall, or it's called WrestleMania Rewind, I think it was. But all of these great shows delivering it. And since then, in the last few months, they've had a lot of good shows roll out. I think that the Rivals, even though it's not a weekly series, when they do these, I think they keep topping each other. They started with Austin versus McMahon. They went to Flair versus Rhodes, Edge and Christian versus the Hardys, and that led to Matt Hardy versus Edge with Lita in the special corner, which was a very, very good thing. But as a WWE DVD and a WWE Blu-ray collector, I can easily say that it has affected my buying habits of DVDs and Blu-rays. Most of the time, I'm not really picking up releases the day that they come out. That sort of pass, I guess the torch has always been in his corner, but that is Gemini's thing now. He will go out and pick up the Survivor Series DVD, even though it's up on the WWE Network. I really don't think that there is a need to have those DVDs anymore. I didn't sell off my collection. I will easily say that, when the network first came out in February and March, April, I was sort of, kicking my decision not to sell those. And I know I was making videos saying that the the people that sold their DVDs were making a big, huge mistake. And there are still good collectors of DVDs that are seeing other people sell off their things and are picking up things at a great value. Some things are holding their value. If it's a Judgment Day or a Raw, what was that, Monday Night Raw episode, I thought that it was going to totally tank out because they put it on the 20th anniversary of Raw DVD, but it still seems like it's holding up there. The few DVDs that I need to complete my WWE DVD collection are really, hard to find, big money ones that I'm just not going to go out and spend $100 on that Monday Night Raw DVD when I have it as a part of my bootleg collection. I'm not going to go out and buy that Purple Undertaker, the Phenom DVD, when I know that it was just a retread that came off of a VHS tape that I have in my bootleg collection. It's just, I would love to have it sitting on my shelf, and sometimes I looked at my shelves and I'm just like, I know I'm never going to watch a ton of these. I won't even open up the case, because if I wanted to watch the actual physical pay-per-view show, I'm just going to hit the button on my Apple TV and it's just going to start playing on my television. And then I don't think of myself as too fat and lazy, but I'm not going to have to get out of my seat, walk over there, mess around with the HDMI wires, plugging in the DVD player, trying to find the DVD remote and hit the button up and everything like that. It's just so much easier. When you got the Wi-Fi connection, you can just press, and everything comes up. As I was saying, as a collector of DVDs and Blu-rays, this is my main problem. These are 3 of the last Blu-rays that I picked up that I haven't even broken the plastic on, just because I look at these, like the Best of Sting, the Raw After the Show, and the True Giants. True Giants, I believe, doesn't come with a documentary, or it already would have been busted open. Best of Sting, same thing. And this one I watched a half of it. I really want to watch the end of it, but it's just, I don't know, I'm waiting for a special time, a special moment in order to watch that one. But if it's something like I'm going to talk about these later, the Destruction of the Shield, or the Paul Heyman one. If it's something that has a documentary, I know that I'm going to have to pay that premium price by going out and buying it the day that it comes out to make sure that I have it. But so many things have shocked me with the release of these things. One of them is the Paul Heyman documentary. I went out and picked this up. I can't remember what month this came out, but it was very shortly after its release put up on the WWE Network. The Batista Blu-ray is another one that is just like that. So, I mean, if you're going to watch it on the WWE Network, you're only going to get basically disc 1, which is the documentary portion of the thing. If you're a big Paul Heyman fan, you get the second disc of the Blu-ray, which was stockpiled full of matches and interviews and promos that basically made his career, making him what he was. But then there's another thing, which was WrestleMania 30. This is the Blu-ray release. It comes with a special book like this. This will more than likely be one of the last pay-per-views that I will ever buy on Blu-ray. As of right now, the Royal Rumble last year and SummerSlam came out on Blu-ray. I don't think I'll ever add those to my collections. I honestly thought that this WrestleMania release was very, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Very bad is, I guess, the only word I can think of. Yes, you get, the WrestleMania 30 show. Yes, you get the Hall of Fame. But as far as bonus features, there's so many things that are going on WrestleMania weekend that they didn't put in here. I think one of the biggest bonus features that they give you is AJ Lee versus the World with her, promo. And then they have a, John Cena versus Bray Wyatt breakdown. Honestly, that was a very, very big, letdown to me. Honestly, with the SummerSlam one as well, being in LA for SummerSlam, I guess I was going to say that weekend, but I was only there for that day because I was going to go down there for the Saturday and Sunday, but there ended up being no access sessions. They ended up doing these confidential sort of Q&A talk-through deals. I was able to go to the Stone Cold Steve Austin one, and I had a few friends that were able to go to the DX and the video game, and even the Hulk Hogan one. But those deals, if it was me, I probably would have stuck one of those on there. I know that the DX Confidential ended up being put up onto the WWE Network as a special release to go check out, and I watched it. It was good, but if I would have got the Stone Cold Steve Austin one onto the SummerSlam Blu-ray, I would have been a whole lot more happy. But then they have taken releases that they put up on the WWE Network. I can easily think of 3 specials that really knocked it out of the park this year that is well worth the money for the month in order to watch it. One was The Destruction of the Shield, which I believe debuted the week after SummerSlam on the WWE Network. Another one was the Ultimate Warrior documentary, which came out a week after WrestleMania. And then I believe a week after the Ultimate Warrior one was the sort of day in the life, or maybe it was the weekend or whatever, Daniel Bryan's pursuit of the World Heavyweight Championship, and showed what he went through all that whole weekend. And that was really, really good. The Destruction of the Shield is the first thing that they've taken from the WWE Network, put onto Blu-ray, and I think this really knocked it out of the park. Even though you can flip on the WWE Network and you can watch the documentary itself, having the extra matches and promos that went along with this, a lot of stuff from FCW, a lot of stuff from NXT, a lot of their best matches along the way are on here all in one. And when it comes down to it, the one thing that the WWE Network doesn't have is collection of matches, and that's why things like Sting is always going to step up to the plate. Even though this didn't have a documentary, this was a must-have for having, how many matches are on here? It doesn't say on the back of it, but I'm going to guess probably at least 20 to 25 of the best Sting matches throughout his career. So if you're really feeling Sting one night and you want to study some of his matches or just relive some of them, you pop this on and it's just one after another in chronological order, and they really knocked it out of the park with that. I know that you can use the search feature on the WWE Network, type in Shawn Michaels, and all these different Shawn Michaels matches will pop up. But sometimes you might be looking for a match, but sometimes you just don't want to have to think about it. Sometimes you just want to press the play button and let it go, and that's why the DVD collection is sitting on the sideline, and I'm still glad that I have it. One of my favorite things that just finished up was they took the Monday Night War DVD. This came out in 2003, it says here on the bottom of it, and basically made a whole documentary series out of it. I was really glad that I watched all of the episodes along the way. I've heard that all 24 episodes are more than likely to get shrunk down into one documentary now, which is good because there was a lot of repetitive things along the way that they needed, but they were able to cover, the how Eric Bischoff went into Ted Turner's office and Ted Turner told him that he was going to get 2 hours of prime time on TNT, and they were going to get the ball rolling with WCW to really take on Vince McMahon and the WWF, which led to them, having the NWO, which really led to them taking over the Monday Night War. And then you see, Vince coming back with DX and Stone Cold Steve Austin and Mick Foley with The Rock. So, it's a lot of those, even though they were single episodes highlighting one guy, once somebody gets through those and cuts them and pastes them together, it's going to make a really nice documentary that came out of it. That's probably one of the biggest things that they've done, is by far just being able to almost click on every pay-per-view that you could ever want to watch from WWF, WWE, WCW, and ECW is really, really cool. I haven't really stepped up and gone through the World Class Championship wrestling things. I really like that it's there if I ever do need it. I did go back and I watched that I believe it was called Star Wars. It was the Christmas show, which put Kerry Von Erich going up against Ric Flair in the steel cage. Of course, the Von Erichs, he is the Von Erichs, dumbass. The Freebirds were all in there, so that was a really cool watch. But I don't know, sitting here a year later, I know that everybody's heard the rumors that the WWE Network was going to get canceled, or the WWE Network is going to change its price to $12.99 and have it go up because they weren't able to pull the numbers that they were supposed to be. But sitting here now, WWE Network, after the Royal Rumble, announced that they had hit the 1 million subscriber mark. They're basically almost all the way around the globe. The countries that they do need to roll out in are countries that aren't going to bring a whole lot of people up to the plate. Wrestling is big when it goes to the Middle East. Wrestling is big when it goes to Germany, but you're not going to be getting another 1 million subscribers out of there. They really need to hit home. Maybe try and find some sort of other advertising way to letting people know that this service is out there, because I can say as a fan, I love having it. There's times when I just get home from work. Some of the best times is almost late night television. I haven't been catching it as much. I don't know if they've moved it to a different time, but it's just one of those things where you just put it in their hands. So you don't have to make a decision because there is so many things. I remember the day I signed up, I signed up and then I was like, well, what are you going to watch? And I ended up watching Bash to the Beach 1996 to seeing the NWO, take over WCW with Hulk Hogan's heel turn. That'll always be remembered as the first thing I ever bought, much like The Hangover was the first Blu-ray that I ever bought, and Charlie's Angels was the first DVD that I ever bought. I can't remember the first CD I bought, but those are things in my life that I just always remember. But I always like watching the old Monday Night Raws. I had a kick where I was going through WCW with the old Nitros. You can watch Nitro pay-per-view, Nitro pay-per-view. And I sort of got off track with that. But that is something that I would love to get back into, trying to see how they built up the NWO. But a year later, I love the WWE Network. I've always been pro for it. And I want to know, a year later, what are your guys' responses and what are your guys' thoughts of what the network has done for wrestling?